Welcome to Commercial Kitchen Chronicles, the podcast dedicated to the commercial food equipment repair industry. My name is Pat Finley. I am a lead master certified technician at General Parts Group and a certified professional trainer. My goal is to shine a light on what I believe to be one of the most interesting and rewarding industries a field service technician can work in. I love the work I do, and I'm glad you're here listening to this podcast. In this episode, I interview Rwoodens Elisdor. All right, we are live. So I am on here today with Rwoodens Elisdor. And where are you from? And give us a little bit of your history, man.
I was originally born in Haiti. I came to America when I was 6 years old. I live in Florida, Palm Beach. I usually what you said again? My bad.
What's that? Oh,
Okay.
Just give me a little bit of your background, what you got going, what you like to do and stuff. We'll get into your work stuff here a little bit. Just what do you do for fun? What do you, I see you like to do bodybuilding and stuff or working out. So
I usually, I love sports. I like playing video games. I love watching anime. Sometimes I go to the gym when I have time. That's mostly it about me.
So how old are you?
I'm 22 years old.
22 years old?
Yes,
Sweet. How long? So you do HVAC and refrigeration, I see.
Yes, sir.
How long have you been in the trades, and what made you get in the trades?
I've been in the trade for a year, working at my company for a year. The thing that made me get in the trade is I didn't really want to I didn't really want to go to school, so my parents were saying, "Oh, we're gonna kick you out of the house." So I said, "Dang!" I was thinking about going to the military, but that didn't work out. So I see the trades. You can get a lot of potential, making money, and having a lot of knowledge, and it's better for you. Like if you like to grow in different aspects. So I decided to go over there, decided to go into trade, and I really love it right now. That's all. It's been going good. It's been going great lately. So
did you do any training before you started, or did you just go straight to a company and they just start training you at that company? Or is that how it worked out for you? Or
nah, yeah. I went to Palm Beach State College. So they have technical programs. So I went to the HVAC program, and that was actually 1 year, but I finished in 10 months because I was one of the best in the class. Then when I was in school, I worked for a mom and pop AC company. I did that for a month until it got really slow. Then I had to leave and get ready for the field. But mostly when it comes to AC and refrigeration, I've been learning from the guys on YouTube or reading books sometimes, or just learning for myself and the other people in the field. But
nice. Who are some of the guys you watch on YouTube, take inspiration from, or you learn from?
What's it called? I watch HVACR a lot.
Mm-hmm.
HVACR videos on YouTube.
So he's a pretty good guy. I mean, he's a really good guy.
Yeah, he's really good at what he's doing. What's it called? I watched how you say DIY. Well, I forgot how you say it. DIY. I forgot AC videos or something like that.
Anti-DIY or something.
Yeah, anti-DIY. Yeah, I'll be watching him, and I'll be watching a lot of other guys. Mostly a lot of HVACR videos, mostly.
Yeah, he puts out 3 videos a week, and you can learn quite a bit. And those 3 videos, just he goes into depth of what he does, and I mean he does a really good job of what he's doing. And I've learned a lot from him too. I've always catch his videos every chance I get, and
Mm-hmm.
he breaks it down the way guys can understand. That's the good thing about him. I mean, he started doing these videos for his company, and then he just started releasing them to the public, and a lot of people have learned a lot from him. So I really appreciate what Chris does.
Yeah.
So, how big's the company you work for now?
Oh, that company I work for a resort. Um, so it's really big. It's one of the biggest resort I would say,
Nice.
probably in Florida. Um, I be busy a lot. But overall, I've been most of the calls I be getting is right now. It's probably refrigeration. Um, like today, I was working on this reach-in cooler. It had non-condensable in the across the filter dryer. So I changed out the filter dryer. It was a flare filter dryer. I changed it, put a vacuum, but then I realized my vacuum is leaking oil. So
Oh no.
even though I just pull it down to how much I can and just add the charge, and I like supply air coming out the vent inside the box was like 37 degrees. I was 37 Fahrenheit, so I just left it be, and I think it's gonna be good from now on. So I
Nice.
feel,
Nice. Got lucky with
mm-hmm.
the flare dryer.
uh,
So you got lucky with the flare dryer.
yeah, I know, right?
Most time I get them, they're always brazed in. I do a lot of new like warranty work and stuff like that, so I rarely run across a flare dryer in anything I do. If I see one,
Uh-huh.
I have to go buy one. I don't have one in the truck, so
Oh, the thing is, I got lucky that no one tightened the flare so tight because I just used my adjustables wrench and just got it loose and put some nylon around the flare, the nut,
mhm.
and it was good to go.
Sweet.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So how many other techs working in that resort with you?
Right now I just got a new guy. I was training him today. In total, let's see, me, him, uh, so in the first shift, there's 4 people, including me. And night shift is 2 guys. Yeah.
Sweet. So you guys run
Yes,
around the
sir.
clock. It must be a pretty big resort then.
Yeah, it is. It is.
That's crazy. So have you noticed so right now you're doing a lot of refrigeration. So
Hmm.
which do you seem like more, refrigeration or the HVAC, or about the same for you, or
You said which one I like more?
yeah, which do you like best?
Uh, it depends on the day. It depends on the day. Like if it's a slow day, I'll say I would like to do refrigeration. But if it's a busy day, I'll say air conditioning because refrigeration, if it's a walk-in cooler that's iced up, that's just like that. That's like 2 or 3 hours of melting the ice. It depends how thick the ice is. So, but air conditioning can get it done. Most of the time it's just like common problems and stuff like that.
Yeah, when I first started, I started off as an electrician and I went to hot
Hmm.
side, and I did hot side for like 3 years, and I want to do refrigeration. So I started doing refrigeration. The place I was working at, their idea of doing refrigeration was just here's stuff in your truck, figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, I struggled, but I struggled more with the patience side of it because you're doing an oven. I mean, you can fix the oven and you can heat it up and have it cycled off 4 or 5 times in 15 minutes. I mean,
Dang.
a walk-in cooler or reach-in cooler or something, if it's hot, or like you said, if it's froze up, you got a couple of hours just thawing it out. Then you don't even know what's wrong with it. You're just thawing it out, and then okay, now the fun begins. I got to see what's
Mhm.
going on with it, why it froze up, that kind. So patience was the biggest thing I had to learn when I started, doing refrigeration and HVAC.
Mhm.
I don't do a whole ton of HVAC, mainly refrigeration, but there's a few customers we will do package units on rooftops and stuff like that. But most of it's just refrigeration. But you do any ice machine work or anything with those yet, or?
Yeah, I do ice machine, but when I started working on ice machine, I hated it because it take it was like time consuming, and it just make you feel like angry at sometimes, like especially if you don't know what's going on. But
Mhm.
now I understand the cycle of it, and I got the basic of it. So like when I work on it, I just like put it. I just reset the board and see what's and they will go to its normal operation until I see a problem, and I just pinpoint it and get the part or fix it. And but sometimes you gotta let it go. Like especially when I be working on those water cooled ice machine, and those are a little bit pain in the butt because you gotta know what's the temperature of the water inlet and outlet. So it be throwing you off a little bit, especially when you have a water regulator. I had a problem with this ice machine. It's water cooled, and the head pressure was going up like to like 300 something psi, and it's a 44A. And I was like, dang, I know I probably have a problem with the water inlet or the water coming into the heat exchanger. And then what's it called? I was like looking to see where the problem is, and I know it was I had a feeling it was the water regulator, but I just look around and just like forgot about it, and I'm still looking for the problem. Then I realized the water regulator was clogged. It's clogged, so I had to bypass it, but it's still going off on those troubleshooting beeps. So,
Yeah, you better get that regulator changed out.
huh?
So you better get that regulator changed out.
Yeah, so why did I just like the water? So I cut the water regulator off and just put a whole copper line just going to the water for the water supply. So it's like basically a bypass, but
It's just running
it's
water
just
nonstop.
yeah, it's just running water constantly.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, you better get you a regulator ordered. Get thrown on there, and you're gonna have some issues. Um,
yeah.
ice machines can be a little difficult. It's just time
Mhm,
consuming. It goes back to patience. When you
mhm.
make Hoshizaki's and you got a 45-minute cycle, you're gonna be there hanging out for a while. So
Yeah.
it's all about patience. It, I mean, in the ice machine, we have a policy where you can't leave. If you work on an ice machine, you're there for 3 batches before you can leave. That's just our
Whoa.
well, that's just our office's policies. I mean, I'd rather sit there for 3 minutes, 3 batches after the repair, than have to you get down the road and they call them back a couple hours, an hour later. Hey, this thing made 2 batches and quit making ice. So we
Hmm.
hit for three, we time them. I write the times down, I write the pressures down. I write down the pressures at 5 minutes. I write down the pressures at harvest. I write down the pressures at the start of the cycle. So I
Hmm.
mean, I try to record every bit of information I can just so I can see how consistent it is. If it's consistent after three, I'm out the door. If it's doing some weird stuff, then I still got more problems. But I mean, most of my problems is lime scale. Our water is so hard up here that I mean, you can clean an ice machine in 6 months. It's completely packed full of lime scale again.
Mm.
Stores that aren't even 6 months old, and their ice machines are just full of lime. And you just got run some cleaner through them and sanitize them, and generally you get back to going. But some of those Hoshizakis, you got to tear the tubes out and you got to do a lot of work. So it can be a
Mm.
while. And you try to explain to a customer, hey, your ice sheet is 6 months old, but it's a solid sheet of lime scale. There's no way, we got filters. I'm like, well, those filters don't necessarily,
Yeah.
they're not, most of them aren't for lime scale. They're for, chlorides, and they're carbon filters.
Hmm.
They're not doing anything for lime scale. But you tell it to the customer, and they don't understand. They don't get it. Well, we pay for these filters. Like, well, those filters are really for taste, and
Yeah, especially the city water, man.
yeah, city water, they add all kinds of stuff in there.
Terrible, terrible.
Yep,
I got a ice machine, and that ice machine every month we got to change the filter because it's using city water. It's crazy.
yep. So, you work on any walk-in coolers or walk-in freezers or anything, or
Oh, what you said?
so do you work on any walk-in coolers or walk-in freezers or anything?
Yeah, I do. I work on walk-in coolers and freezers, but mostly walk-in coolers lately. That's good. because walk-in freezers or unless if hopefully it's not a defrost timer that went bad. If it's a defrost timer that went bad, now you gotta defrost the whole freezer. So and you don't want to be there, man.
No, most of the time, if I got one that's froze up, I'll cheat and I'll pull the external off the defrost clock, and I'll try to figure out why I didn't defrost.
Yeah,
Try to figure out why I didn't defrost. Maybe I got bad defrost termination switch or something like that. If I get it apart, I'll throw it a defrost, take the X wire off, tape it off, and I'll make it do its work while I'm gone. Put it in a real long defrost or whatever I got to do. So Duke said he just went on a call for a FryMaster fryer with delayed ignition and a big boom. He checked my sensor and both ignition was okay. What's my thoughts? Delayed ignition depends on which fryer it is, Duke. Most of the time, it's if it doesn't do it when you're there, check the blower. Check the blower relay. Make sure your blower motor is running. Sometimes you can lose a relay for that blower motor. They'll carbon up, and it won't get signal. It won't send power to that blower motor, and then it'll load up with gas, and eventually it gets enough gas in there, and it just kind of booms and takes off. So check that, especially on the H55s or H50 series. So. What series was it, Duke? Leave me a message. Let me know. But yeah, I work everywhere, dude. I do a lot of FryMaster is like one of my bread and butters, man. I actually train for FryMaster fryers, so I got some fryers, and I'll travel around to other branches and train on them. So, but I appreciate the comment, Duke. But yeah, I mean, walk-ins are fun. I like them. I've actually built some walk-ins here the last couple of years.
Nice.
We have a big account for university, and they had a building they owned the building, and there was a restaurant that was in there, and they went out of business, and the building sat empty for like a year. And the restaurant had only been in there for like a year, so it was a 2-year-old box, and it was in an indoor box. We took it all apart. They wanted the space for their e-gaming team, so they have e-gaming teams, and they wanted to build a little area where they can have they can host events and stuff, and they can have their own area. So. We took it out and we took it over to their dock at their main building and poured some concrete and built it out there. And they put a rubber membrane roof on it. And we put it all back together. It was a pretty cool little project. So I get to do some stuff like that every once in a while. But most of the time I'm just fixing and repairing. I install a lot of combi ovens, do that kind of stuff. So do you guys have your own dedicated kitchen equipment guys, or you guys call that out, or what do you do? Or do you have kitchens there or what?
No, we had a kitchen guy, but he had to leave. I think he decides to leave. He left because there was a better opportunity for him. So now we just call out contractors, like one contractor company to come out work on those kitchen appliances. But man.
They're not bad to work on. I mean, they can be dirty and nasty, but I mean it's a different set of challenges. I'm the type of person, I get bored pretty easy, so I like to change. So it's a 255 Duke. I'd start off with the blower motor, make sure the blower's clean, and make sure if you drop down the control panel, there should be a relay board behind there. There should be a little black or smoked colored ice cube relay. Pull that relay off and look. More than likely, you're going to see a bunch of carbon deposits. If that's the case, I'd order those relays. They're not that expensive, and that's pretty much what it is. I will warn you, though, Duke, if you go up to a unit that say it's popping, the first thing I do is I shut the gas off to the unit, and I fire it up. I try to turn it on to make sure my blower comes on. That way you don't have your head stuck down there and that thing pop in your face. I learned the hard way. Very first time I had one, a call came in for one. Customer said, "Hey, our fryer's popping." And I was like, "Oh, it can't be that bad." So I opened up the door and I stuck my head down there and I was looking in the little sight glass looking for flame, nothing. And all of a sudden, boom, it's like a cannon went off, man, and it scared the crap out of me.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a little different working in these kitchens. So
the thing is, when in the kitchen, those kitchen equipments, like those fryers and stuff like that, they almost have the same parts, right?
Same parts as what? As other fryers or as like other stuff?
Yeah, like other companies and manufacturers, like.
I mean, there's a lot of proprietary stuff. Everyone has their own little way, like they like to do things. So it's a lot of proprietary stuff. So A lot of it's different. I mean, you get down to the common like millivolt stuff, though. I mean, most of the thermopiles are the same, and most that kind of stuff. But once you get above a millivolt fryer, that's
Hmm.
when things change. So I mean, I work on fryers that have a manual gas valve that you have to hold in. You press the pilot, and you let the pilot, and then it's got a manual thermostat all the way up to touchscreen fryers that's got a pretty much a computer screen on the front, and you can do everything from there. So
Dang,
a long ways.
it's crazy. Technology moving too fast now. I heard this company. Was it like a few weeks ago? I was reading a newsletter. This company is making air conditioning that's using liquid nitrogen.
It wouldn't surprise me. It's the way they're pushing this these new
Hmm.
laws and stuff. It's going to change. I mean, I do a lot of propane stuff right now, R290 or
Oh
R2
yeah.
stuff, refrigeration. I've been doing that for a few years now, and it's not bad, but it changes so fast anymore. It's hard to keep up with.
Hmm. Hmm. You've been getting any compressors failures from those R290s?
I get them all the time.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can't say why they failed. Most of the time, the ones I get are they get a leak and then they suck up a bunch of moisture. So these little self-contained reach-ins, they'll run a condensate loop. They'll
Hmm.
run it, for the condensate from the evaporator and drains into it, and it eats them up. They don't coat those loops, and it just destroys them, and all the refrigerant leaks out. And then they don't suck it ventures, and it sucks in water, and it makes a mess, man.
Wow, wow.
I try to get them just to send me a whole new compressor and and everything, condenser coil, evaporator coil. Sometimes they'll do it, sometimes they won't do it. Sometimes they tell me to flush off RX11. I had one unit that was so bad that I had to leave the vacuum pump on for 2 days. I'd go by first thing in the morning, change the oil, and then on the way home, I'd stop by and change the oil again. Eventually, like two
Hmm.
days later, it finally got down low enough that
Hmm.
I got the moisture out of it. But I mean, I blew it out with RX11. I mean, I asked the factory, I was like, hey, is this safe to use an R290? And the guy's like, well, I told you to use it. And I was like, okay, that's all I need.
Hmm. What kind of? Oh, is it? So it was a small reach in, or what?
Yeah, it was a small reach in freezer, like a little under counter, so it can slide under.
Oh,
Or a lot of times I'll put like a small piece of cooking equipment on, like a little conveyor oven or a toaster, or they'll put something on top of it. It's nothing too big or heavy.
okay, okay, okay. They use some footings on it.
Yeah. So you went to school for refrigeration, and my company touches hot side as well. It's hard to choose what to do homework on. Thanks for the input. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there, man. Especially if you guys don't focus mainly on kitchens and kitchen equipment, it can get a little overwhelming, dude.
Hmm.
Lots of good resources out there, and I mean, you can always hit me up somewhere on Instagram or Facebook, and I can help you out any way I can. So, what do you like to do outside of work?
Um, I'm mostly a homebody type of person. But I like to just probably hang out with my friends sometimes, or go to the gym sometimes.
That's
Um,
you like to play video games? Is that what you said earlier?
yeah, I like playing video games sometimes. Yeah, I like playing video games.
What do you play?
I have a PC, uh, PS3 that's modded and a PS4, but I used to play Call of Duty. Um, I had FIFA, GTA, Red Dead Redemption 2. Um, yeah, man. Those I have a bunch of games like Spider Man.
I
How
play.
about you?
I got a
Uh,
PS5, and I play. I don't know why I have a PS5 to play PUBG, but I do. But I got a buddy that plays it. He got me playing it. So occasionally, if I get home early enough, I'll play with him. He works nights. He works third shifts, and I work days. But
oh,
it's like I catch him at the right time. We'll get a couple games in. We'll hang out and shoot the shit. Just play around and goof off. But I used to.
PUBG is lit.
I used to play Call of Duty like religiously. Like every night, I'd be up there all night long, and like it got to the point where I couldn't keep up with these kids, how fast they move and some stuff they do, and it just like I'm done. I gave it up. I buy it every year. I say if
Mhm.
I buy it, I buy it the day it comes out. I'll play it for like 2 hours and I'll get mad and never touch it again. Now my son doesn't care because he just jumps on mine and plays it on the PS5 with his friends because he's
Uh-huh.
an Xbox kid. My other son plays on PS5, but he just lets me buy it so he can play it pretty much.
So you be playing a little bit like video games lately?
Yeah, I play. Like I said, I play PUBG. That's about it. I mean, I play.
Mhm.
We played some Need for Speed occasionally.
Um,
I play some Need for Speed and we'll goof off on there. But
mhm.
I used to play GTA a lot. I used to play some Red Dead Redemption. I like Red Dead Redemption. It's kind of different, but I like it. So
You got Red Dead Redemption 2?
yeah, I got it. I had to
Okay.
see. I, I'll send you my gamer tag on there. When I get it figured out, and then
Yeah.
we can play together sometime.
Hey man, Red Dead Redemption 2 is good, bro. The only thing I just like about it, the map is so big, so it take time to travel
Yeah,
across the map. So
yeah. It's definitely a different type of game. It's kind of weird. That's why I liked it. I used to what was the game? It was like a nuclear Fallout. It was Fallout. I used to play Fallout all the time.
oh, I don't think I have played. I don't know if I played Fallout before.
It's a little different. It's
Hmm.
like it changes the game. The game changes based on how you play it. So you can play it like pretty straight up and legit, and
Uh-huh.
get a different ending, or you can play it like evil and like you get a different ending. So it's just different ways you play the game. How it ends. It's pretty cool.
Okay, okay. Maybe one day I'll play that game. But I'm just waiting for GTA 6, man.
It's been what, like 6 years?
Hey, they say that game is going to get released in 2025, bro.
Is that what they're saying? I mean, I see they come out with like new online packs and stuff for
Hmm.
GTA all the time. My
Yeah.
son always gets them. I've never tried it, but like I see these guys playing these modded versions. I'm like, what is this? I was like, I don't get it, but I mean, to each his own, I guess.
Oh man, there's a lot of modders out there.
Yeah. So
That's
back
good.
on work, is there anything in particular you want to learn or you want to do, or just anything comes across your board, you just try to figure it out?
Um, I want to just be a better tech, like, and that only happens when you just work on equipments. So, um, I just want to me as a person. I just want to keep doing AC and refrigeration. I think until like and probably hopefully maybe one day I don't know will be a chiller boy. So,
I
but
like watching
that
guys working on chillers and refrigeration racks at like grocery stores and
oh
supermarkets.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, I want to do that. I'm like, no, I don't want to start over.
Yeah,
I'll
you
take
gotta be.
it for now.
You probably got to start as a union, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's non-union shops that do it too. There's union shops that do it. I mean, there's everybody does different stuff. So I mean, I get
Yeah.
that, but I don't know. It's cool. Like I have ADHD, so I always want to do new stuff. So that's why my job works out pretty well. Is
Uh-huh.
always working on something different. It's never the same thing over and over and over. So I see something different every day. I mean, there's days I still see stuff I've never worked on, and
What?
I kind of get a little excited when I see something I haven't worked on because then I got to figure out how it works. And hell, I don't even know how to turn it on sometimes. I got to figure that out. So
Oh man. But yeah, when you go into like when you start working on those chillers, it's a lot. It's a lot that goes into it. You already know this, but like you gotta know your stuff like real to the teeth. You feel me? So
I'd be lost. I wouldn't have a clue. We'll learn now. It'd be cool to learn.
yeah. But so what do you like about what do you like working on more like coolers or like kitchen stuff?
It depends on the day and my attitude, man. There's some days I don't want to touch refrigeration, and there's some days that's all I want to do. So just
Yeah.
depends on my mood. I mean, luckily for me, I work on enough stuff to keep me, entertained, to keep me, variety. But if I had to pick one, I'd probably say refrigeration right now. Like I said,
Hmm.
there's still days I hate doing it though. I'm not gonna lie. There's days I wonder why. I'm like I question my reasoning for getting into refrigeration. I'm like I had it made just doing hot side, and it is like, and I started doing refrigeration. And I was like, why did I do this? I mean, there's days I hate everything though. So I mean, it just depends on my mood.
I
Duke,
know. Huh? What-
I was looking at the comments. Duke asked if I worked on rationales and other combis. Yeah, I'm a rationale certified, AltoSham certified, Convotherm certified. I do work on Elomas. I do work on about any combi out there. I'll work on it. So, you guys have any combi ovens at your resort? Do you know what that is?
No. What is that? That's it.
It's a combi oven, so it does steam or it does oven or it does both at the same time. So they're they're pretty cool. It's like if you have like a bigger banquet hall, they probably have them. You don't know it. Um,
Ambient oven. I know we got a lot of new equipments over there, but I don't know. Probably they might have it, or I don't know, to be
oh, they
honest. But
probably do. They probably do. They're everywhere now. They cook great. I mean, they cook real evenly, and they do a lot of different stuff. You can
mhm.
plate ups and heat them up. I mean, so there's a they're probably over there.
I know, like this time, I know I'm the type of person like when I struggle on a call and I had to go home and I can't sleep because I'm thinking about that same call. Like, what did I do wrong? What can I do better to fix that call? I'm thinking about it the whole night until I go work on that equipment the next day. Or you the type of person like that, right?
Oh yeah, but if I can't fix something, or figure it out. It eats me up. It drives me nuts at night. Um, I will go home. I will research it online. I will.
Hmm.
It's bad. It consumes me if I can't figure something out. I have to know. I have to know what it is. I mean,
Hmm.
I can't. I mean, I'll call tech support, but that's pretty much my last line of defense. Most of the time, I can talk to other technicians I know, or I Google it, or I try to find it myself before I call tech support because I don't seem like an idiot.
Hmm.
Duke, you can always send me a message, man. I'm open to help.
um, yes. So the new walk-in coolers, I've been like the new walk-in coolers, the one that had the logistic boards, I think.
Like the quick chill or quick rapid response chillers or that kind of stuff, where it's got a little control board in there.
Yeah, and the evap.
Yes.
Those are pain in the butt because now like I'm used to the the old walk-in coolers. So the new ones they have the room temperature and sometimes the fan got to shut off the fan cycle off until that temperature in the room get low, then it goes on.
Hmm.
So I was like, I was working on that walk-in cooler, and I was like looking at it. I was like, dang, why is the fan was shutting off and on like every few minutes. So I was like, damn, what's going on? So I had to call tech support, and they would tell me about it, and I was like, what?
Yeah, there's a.
What?
I mean, I like the new stuff. I like the EEV stuff, the electronic expansion
Mhm.
valve.
Yeah.
As long as it's set up right and everything's, all your temperature probes are reading correctly, they work great. They work phenomenal. Um, I got some stuff that still has thermal expansion valve, and then they'll have the 2-speed fans. So when it calls for cooling, the fans ramp up, and then when it goes, it's satisfied, the fans drop down to a lower speed. But I've installed quite a bit of the newer stuff with the quick response. That's just one of the brands, their little wording of it. But
Yeah.
I like it. You just got to be careful. You can't, pump too much nitrogen in those things because you can mess those sensors up pretty good. So
Mm.
suction side transducer, you can blow them up.
Oh, really? Well, how much? Like 150 is the most?
Most of them I got a tag on there or the instructions that says not to pump it up above whatever.
Uh huh.
I'll tell you a story. So I used to be the type of guy when I'd look for a leak in a small self-contained or anything, I just 300 psi, 300 psi, 300 psi. I'm gonna find the leak. So you don't want to do that. If you look on the tags, a lot of the stuff it says, maximum working pressure on the suction side is like 175. You don't want to go above that if you're leak checking. Um, I had a Silver King ice cream dipping station. So it's a little freezer and they put their ice cream in there, and it doesn't have, it's not a forced air system. It's a static cooler. So it's just got lines wrapped around the outside and it just builds frost. And that's how it cools the ice cream.
Hmm.
So I changed the compressor and I had a leak and I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it. I was getting mad. I was like, what the heck? So I said, screw it. So I pumped this thing up to like 350 psi of nitrogen. And I'm like, man, it's dropping, it's dropping, dropping. And all of a sudden I heard boom. I was like, what the hell was that? The leak was inside the coil wrapped around the unit. and it smashed the cavity in on itself. It blew up and pushed the cabinet walls in.
Dang.
But the manufacturer tried blaming me for doing it and saying it was my fault for ever pressurizing it and tried making us pay for the cooler. I'm like, yeah, it had a leak there, a weak point anyways. Like, well, you pressurized it to 350, and you can't go that high. And so I learned my lesson. So now, whatever it says, maximum side pressure on the low side, that's as high as I go when I leak check connection.
Okay, okay.
Gil from the HVAC Censored Podcast is on here. Gil's my man. Gil's my dude, man. He's helped me out a bunch with podcasts and YouTube stuff. He's a really good dude. If you haven't listened to his podcast or watched his YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and check him out. He always has all different kinds of people on there, from HVAC to refrigeration, business owners, technicians. He takes care of us. So check him out. So have you done anything dumb like that you shouldn't have done, or you don't want to talk about it? You're still pretty. This was in my past a few years ago, but
me,
yeah. If I make a mistake in a video or something, I'm gonna put it out there. I don't care. I'm never gonna claim to be perfect. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I've done dumb stuff. I work on stuff I shouldn't. I won't. I mean, amazing. I haven't done more damage to myself than I should. Than I have. I shouldn't really say this because I'll probably get in trouble. But I mean, make sure you work smart, though. I mean, if you can unplug something, unplug it. Don't be risking anything. But yeah, I've done some dumb stuff and caused myself extra headaches.
and the funny thing is when you see what you've done and you just laugh it off, or you be calling yourself stupid.
Yeah, I've definitely called myself stupid a few times, man. And like why did I do that? Like, what made me think that was a good idea? I'm like, you just get tired or you're getting beat up on something and you can just try something, and then it ends up backfiring on you and causing more. Whatever. I always try to tell everybody, like, people will say, oh, I don't know how to fix that. I can't do that. And I always tell them, hey, it was broke when you got here. They didn't call you because it was running right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
You have that attitude, you can go a lot further. Don't beat yourself up over it. I mean, no one can fix absolutely everything. If they're saying that, they're lying to you.
The mistake I made that I'll always remember is I had to work on this reaching cooler. I had to change the compressor because there was a leak and it burned out the compressor. So I put a new compressor. That was like 2 or 3 months when I started working at the resort. So I was just fresh out of school. So then I put the compressor. So then I was looking for the leak. I know there was a leak. And I found a leak in the HVAC, but it took me a while to pinpoint the leak. So I found a leak. I waited, was it like a whole 6 weeks for a new HVAC. When it came in, I said, do I really want to do this? So I had to take the HVAC from the shop, and I was trying to find, I put the capillary tube because they use 2 capillary tubes.
Yep.
And somebody helped me with the capillary tubes because I never soldered it before. So I put so he helped me with the capillary tube. And now I got to put the 2 ends in the filter dryer. Oh my God. So when I put the 2 ends in the filter dryer and I solder it and I thought I was good. So I pull a vacuum. And it was messing up with my micron gauge because it said I have a leak. And I was like, I did it again. I pull another vacuum. I pressure tested and pull a vacuum. I could not find a leak. I was like, what's going on? I put a new evap, and I was like, damn, okay. I find out, I did it 3 times. I find out that my hoses had a leak, like the core.
Yeah.
The gasket was like broken off. So I was like, dang. So what I did is I pulled another vacuum again and charged it. I said, it's wasting my time. I charged it and turned it on. And I saw the low side pressure was dropping to the inches of HG. So I know I had a restriction. Huh?
Yeah, it's pulling in a vacuum, so you had a restriction on your high side. It was just, yeah.
Yeah. So when that was happening, I was like, so I walked off, then it came back and I saw that. I was like, dang, no cooling. So I look at the capillary tube, at the evap, oh, and it was starting to ice up. And I was looking at the filter dryer, and I was like, okay, that filter dryer is good because I don't see no restriction there. But there's a restriction in the capillary tube. So I had to get help. Then I realized the capillary tube that I soldered was not, it was broken. So it was broken inside the filter dryer. No, it was inside the filter dryer. I was like, dang. I was so hot, man. I was so frustrated. I'll never forget this. But right now, that cooler is running good. That was a nightmare because every time I be working on it, people pass by and say, "You still working on this cooler?" Like they be like, it get on my nerve.
Oh yeah, working in the kitchen is tough, man.
Yeah,
I've I've had hot grease poured on me. I have a fryer. I've been kicked. I've been burned. I've been gotten soaked. Food poured on me. Food poured in my bag. I mean, I've went
dang.
through my tool bag and found rotten food down the bottom of it. I'm like, where the hell did this come from? I mean, it's always something in the kitchen. You're never going to escape clean. And
Hmm.
most time the people are rude, and it just.
Yeah,
I mean, if I got to work on a cooler and I can take it outside, I take it outside. So
yeah, definitely, definitely,
I'll
definitely.
change many compressors in the parking lot, man. I don't care if I can get it outside and the weather's nice,
Hmm.
100 degrees. I'm going outside in the parking lot. I can have my music on. I get
Yeah,
all my tools. I'm not going in and out the door trying to get a manager to let me in or out or carrying tools through a dining room. I mean, there's a lot of stuff we deal with that a lot of people don't even realize.
especially when people going over your bag, like they be like pushing your bag away. It just like the frustration in the kitchen is not it, but you still got to deal with it because that's your money makers right there. So you got to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been doing it for 16 years now. I'm kind of used to it, but like you look at people, kicking you and laughing. I'm like, it's real funny. I'm laying down here on the ground fixing your shit for you. You're gonna kick me and laugh. I'm like, I don't think so, man.
Mm.
I lose my mind. So I'm a big guy. I take up a lot of real estate.
Hey man, you want to start throwing stuff away, man.
Uh,
So, that's crazy, man.
what's going on, refrigeration and kitchen EQ tech? Let's see what's going on in the chat. They're just talking about schematics. Yeah, schematics are the biggest hurdle for new techs to keep it up. Yeah, yeah. If you can't read a schematic, it's going to take you a little while, man. I would when I first started, if I had a problem with a unit that I had to trace schematics on, I had highlighters, and I would trace the wires off a highlighter, the lines on the schematic, and go that way.
Mm.
It's you get in some of these combi ovens, man, and there's 500 wires, and there are 3 colors, and it's made in Europe, so
What?
there's blues, and there's browns, and you're like, how are blue and brown together? It gets pretty crazy on some of these combi ovens, man.
And a few of them are wire netted together, and you'd be like,
Oh, well, they'll have terminal boards, and there'll be
oh, okay.
40, 50 wires in one terminal board, and they're all tied together, and like, I'm trying to find a short where. I'm like, I got all these wires.
Oh man, oh man. I know these engineers like they making our days tough sometime.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is they're thinking of it as far as them building it and how they can make it better as building it. And a lot of times it doesn't translate into how it is to fix it.
Hmm.
So, like when I went to the Fry Master school, they actually brought the engineers in for like a meeting. Like you could sit down and talk to engineers, and
Mm.
and they tell us like, hey, be nice to them, but let them know the frustrations you have. And I've seen actually a lot of changes come to Fry Master equipment from people talking to engineers. Like on a lot of the new stuff now, the side panels come off so you can get to the pumps easier. So, I mean, they do listen. It may take them a while, but they do end up listening.
Mm. So would you want to be an engineer one day, or you just want us?
I like doing what I do. I don't want to be behind the computer. I've had opportunities to go work with some manufacturers in the tech support side and
Yeah.
in the So you do tech support, and you'd also do like if it's like something in your area or whatever breaks or is troublesome, and they can't figure it out, you have to go out there and fix it. And I just I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. I like the variety. I couldn't imagine just working on one brand of equipment.
Especially, you don't want to be biased or something like that. Be
Yeah,
biased.
I do a lot of training, and eventually their goal is to have me come out of the field. But I told them I'd never come out of the field 100%, just because I think that if you come out of the field 100%, you're going to learn, you're going to lose all your relevancy, and you'll get passed up by technology. The way technology is going on all this equipment, it goes by so fast. I did startups on an AccuX hood system, so I had a hood and a makeup air. The makeup air had 2-stage cooling, had I think like 15 tons of cooling. It was crazy.
What?
Oh, it was nuts. Variable speed drives. It was insane. It was pretty cool. So I'm like, and I mean, that's the first time I've seen something like that as far as makeup air. I've seen some that had a single stage cooling, but this thing had 2-stage cooling. It had variable speed drives. I was like, holy smokes, this thing was pretty.
I don't have no makeup air at my job that's 2-stage cooling, but it just use a whole blower motor.
Do they use swamp coolers down there? Just use cool like water blowing across them, or just stuck in outside air and they just deal with the humidity they pull in?
Yeah, they probably do that, but the thing is, over there they use a lot of, it's a resource, so they use water source from the chillers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
yeah. But there's 2-stage cooling on that makeup air. Have 2 compressors.
yeah.
Oh,
Compressors, and then it had freeze protection. So if it froze up, one would shut off. So the coils were stacked. They weren't back to back. They were stacked on top of each other. So you had one on top of the other like this. So if one froze up, it shut the top one off, so it'd still pull air across the top. So I mean, they did their homework that way, but it was pretty cool. I mean, it was a pretty neat system. It was on like as some golfing thing where you drive balls and they got RFID chips in there and they tell where the balls go and that kind of stuff. Is one of those places.
What brand?
These were AccuX, so it's part of Green Heck AccuX. They're a pretty big company. They're all over the place, but we did startups on them. You could do air balancing on them, which I was clueless. They sent me out this tool and I had no idea how to use it. So you figure it out. Though. I mean, it's part of the job. So
that's crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of VFDs out here now.
Yeah, that's what refrigeration tech's saying. Kitchen refrigeration tech. Yeah, there's VFDs. VFD's been pretty common in like some of the combis for years. Alto-Shaam's had them for years, but yeah, they're getting more and more popular. It's kind of weird because you think of the combi ovens have water in them, so you got to kind of watch out. I posted a video today on my TikTok. I had overtime call yesterday. This combi's only a couple years old, and they called and they're freaking out. They're like, "Hey, this thing's shooting water all over the place. We shut the water off." And I get there, and they only have 60 psi water pressure, but the end of the hose, the crimp blown off, and it blew the hose off the barb fitting going into the unit. Well, it's a barbed hose end. I mean, it's manufactured that way. But it was just spraying water everywhere. Luckily, it didn't damage any of the units, but these have VFDs in them. So,
oh dang,
yeah, there's a lot of different stuff I work on, man. It's kind of crazy.
So water didn't get near the VFDs, or is it inside a?
No, it was on top of the bottom. So it's a double stack unit. So you have one unit on top of the other.
Oh,
and it was the top unit, and the hose is on the bottom, and it didn't get into it. I mean, everything ran fine, but I was amazed.
What? And that's brand new equipment. I know those equipment are expensive right now. Oh shoot, you good? Oh.
Yeah. I was just looking at the comments. Yeah, they discontinued the SEC line. They're doing the iCombis now, Duke. The pros and then the classics. So the pros are the touchscreen, and the classics are just some buttons on the side of the little screen. I've installed quite a bit of both of them so far. Done some in some Walmarts and some other restaurants, but they're getting pretty popular in my area right now. I mean, we've always done a whole ton of rationales, but the iCombis are gaining popularity now. So what brands do you work on?
Me?
Yep.
I work on Carrier, Train, American Standard, good, man. I got what's it called uh I got Mr. Cool over there.
Mr. Cool,
Yeah, somebody, huh?
the DIY thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They got one over there, a mini split. I got Daikin. They got VF. They got VRV over there too.
Nice, nice. I haven't done any VRV stuff. I see a bunch of it. I'm like, man, it looks pretty cool, but it looks like it'd
Hmm.
be a headache too.
What you said?
I said they look cool to work on, but it looks like they can be a headache as well.
Oh
So
yeah, man. Yeah, those are critical, real critical.
yeah,
But yeah, I could say the name wrong, but McQuay.
yeah, the Quake.
Yeah, yeah. I have McQuay Daikin. That's Daikin brand right there. Um,
What kind of refrigeration equipment?
we got Victory. Uh, Shit, there's so many. We got Turbo Air now. Turbo Air's been it's everywhere in our new everywhere in the resort now. It's a cheaper brand, I would say.
Yeah,
Turbo Air, Victory, uh, Charleston.
yep,
Um, we got there's so much brand. There's other brands out there, but we got some. We just got like two new equipments that's from China,
hmm.
and they like 1 star, 1 star company. I know they're gonna have some problems soon. So
Yeah. I did. I've done some warranty work for some companies that they make equipment and then they let like so many people like you can buy the equipment and rebadge it however you want.
hmm
It's like it's just paper thin evaporators, paper thin tubing. It's just like thrown together. The probes are all bad. It's just rough, man.
I
But I mean,
gotta, uh
can't
huh,
get people can't get stuff and they can't get quality stuff, so they're just buying whatever. And
yeah.
unfortunately, it sucks for me. I'm like, I go out there, I'm like, man, I'm like, I'll send the manufacturer a bill for more than what they got in the equipment. I'm like, I mean, sorry, it is what it is. I mean,
Hmm. Like I got this turbo air cooler under the counter cooler. Um, the what's it called the pads for the condensate pan is like it's corroded and there's a lot of mildew. I'll be like, dang, that's a new equipment. It's like 7 month old, I would say. And now I probably gotta call Turbo Air and see if they can give me a new pads with probably new pads and that's all. And the whole sheet metal where the condenser is rusting away. And I'll be like, come on now. It's just painful, man, to see all those stuff goes on over there, man.
yeah, it's crazy how things are anymore.
Like the old Charleston coolers or freezers, I have they're like 10, 15 years old over there, but they kicking butt.
Yeah, Charleston's are some tanks, man.
Hmm. They're really good brand. I really like them.
Yeah. Well, man, we're going on 53 minutes. I got some more stuff to do tonight to get ready for tomorrow. So I want to thank you for coming on. And if you want to give these guys where they can find you at on social media or anything, if you want to give that out, I'd be more than likely, more than happy to share that with everybody. So tell everybody where they can find you at, man.
Mostly be on Instagram. My Instagram is DJ underscore Woody 2.
Sweet.
And yes, sir. That's
Yep.
where I be.
Everybody go out there and look for DJ underscore Woody 2. Pretty cool dude, man. He does some cool stuff. So he's
Yes, sir.
new to the industry, and I'm glad to have him on here. And we'll see what he has out there. So take care, everybody, and have a good night.
All right, Pat, I will see you.
Thanks, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
Hey, no problem, man.
Yes,
Anytime.
sir. Yes, sir. Have a good one.